Hey guys, Comic Boom here to talk to you about Wonder Woman and the power of love. I know I can't believe it. I can't believe we're going to talk about love, but I promise I'm going to try to make it somewhat interesting because Wonder Woman issue 23, which is what I'm going to be reviewing today, it is all about the power of love. Wonder Woman kicks ass in issue 23. She defeats the twin sons of Ares, who are the embodiment of horror and death and a sense of loss for humanity, and she defeats them with the power of love and her magic lasso. It is incredible that an issue that has virtually no action in it, other than a couple of swords swung by Amazons, could be so compelling and be so thought-provoking and so riddled with religious themes. This is a comic book worth reading, if for no other reason that while it doesn't deal with a lot of politics like some other comic books out there, Secret Empire, it does address a lot of religious ideas, and it does make one think, and it certainly embodies a sense of hope and love and the good old-fashioned golden rule of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. That's Wonder Woman. It might be a little bit Vanilla Sky, a little bit too perfectly wrapped up, but it makes you think and it's interesting. So let's get to it. When we last left Wonder Woman, she had located Themyscira, and along with Veronica Cale, she had located Ares, discovered Ares on Themyscira, and Phobos and Deimos were about to attack the Amazons so that they could defeat the Amazons and ultimately release from imprisonment on Themyscira their father, Ares, the god of war. And how this issue starts off is it's essentially Ares telling the story. At the very beginning of man, or within a couple hundred years or 1,000 years, the god of war, Ares, starts to go insane because it's humanity's inclination to war drives Ares insane. And it's through the love of Aphrodite that Ares is able to find peace. And once Aphrodite shows Ares love, Ares is able to find peace, and then the other gods, one god Hephaestus, or Hephaestus, or however you say his name, he creates the chains that chain Ares in place, and Aphrodite gives him love that tames his temperament and calms his mind and brings him out of insanity. And the gods also then create the Amazons and Themyscira. And Themyscira is actually the prison. So Paradise Island, what we've come to think of as Paradise Island, is actually a prison created by the gods to hold Ares in place. Now, this is where the religious imagery really comes into play. Because what has happened then is that Ares and Aphrodite end up having sons. They have twin sons, Phobos and Deimos. Phobos representing fear, and Deimos representing terror. And Phobos and Deimos, of course, are running around for millennia around the earth, fermenting fear and a sense of loss and terror amongst all of humanity. All the while Ares has been trapped or has been imprisoned willingly on Themyscira. And Themyscira is not accessible. It exists on a different plane of existence. Think of it like if we live on four-dimensional planes, Themyscira exists in a fifth dimension. You can't access Themyscira. And the only people that can access Themyscira, according to Ares, are the ones that can see past the futility of conflict and war. Or in reference to humanity, Ares himself makes it very clear that Themyscira, that all those who leave Themyscira will not be able to come back and find it again, because if they leave Themyscira, they're going to be in man's world, and since man has a proclivity for conflict, for so long as there's even a remote proclivity to conflict, that we resolve our problems with conflict, we're not going to be able to see the path to Themyscira. In other words, the religious imagery is clear. The path to paradise will never be made clear until we see past conflict. Until we embrace love, until we embrace compassion and kindness, we're never going to see the gates of paradise. And that's extremely symbolic of Wonder Woman's journey throughout the 23 issues. And Wonder Woman's search for Themyscira, the search toward the truth, is really about her search, trying to get through all kinds of conflict to get to the truth, i.e. to get into paradise. Diana herself, Wonder Woman, represents the Christ-like character. She's practically perfect. She's got no flaws. Greg Rucka has written her to be very much like a Messiah-like figure. Wonder Woman is the embodiment of truth, and she's the embodiment of love. In issue 23, she uses her love to defeat Phobos and Deimos. Just as Aphrodite tamed Ares through her love and then bound him with the chains forged by Hephaestus, Wonder Woman has love for all humanity and a love for all gods, and she professed her love for Phobos and Deimos, who are the embodiment of terror, horror, and by professing her love for them and binding them with her magic lasso, which is also known as the Golden Perfect, she stripped them of their power and essentially bound them. And that's how it ends. There's no action in this issue 23. Wonder Woman wins the day literally by love, and that there's a powerful religious imagery there too. The Amazons themselves are like the angels. They're like the angels of heaven. Paradise Island is heaven because Wonder Woman has always been looking for heaven. She's looking to go home, just like we're all looking to go home. When are we going to find home? We're only going to find heaven. We're only going to find paradise when we let go of hate, when we let go of conflict. This is reminiscent and very symbolic of many different religious ideologies that go along the lines that, look, the minute your mind is clear, the minute you're free of hate, free of conflict, when you have only love and kindness and compassion within you, then all kinds of doors are opened up to you. And in particular, you'll always defeat your enemy with love, because you show them love and they'll show it back. At least that's it's definitely kind of a vanilla sky type of writing here. It's very optimistic. In the real world, of course, you're not going to be able to defeat your enemies with love. You're going to be killed very easily, and we got example and example after example of that throughout history. So in that respect, this is definitely more of a theoretical, interesting sort of take on Wonder Woman. It's sort of a biblical take. It's more philosophical. If you're into superheroes and you like action, this is definitely not a story for you. You're going to have a hard time probably believing it. I'm a little bit of a cynic, so I have I wish Wonder Woman would have at least thrown a fist into the face of Phobos or Deimos, but she didn't. She just got on her knees again, wrapped her arms in the magic lasso, professed her love for them, wrapped her lasso around them, and then defeated them. And so she defeated them with love. Again, a lot of religious imagery, so that's pretty cool in that respect. Greg Rucka has put a lot of religious imagery there, so I got to give him credit for really putting a lot of thought into the mythology and the religion here. I'm not an expert on it, but even I, not being very knowledgeable on mythology, I think I believe I'm giving some appreciation to what I think he was trying to show here. The Amazons are the angels. Ares is sort of like the first angel. He's sort of like almost like the Lucifer, where he's the bad guy, but yet he's basically a misunderstood angel. And so he's sort of brought back into paradise by being imprisoned, but with love. And the other religious theme is Wonder Woman herself. She's the Messiah figure. She's the messenger. She's the one that brings forward the message of love. And she's the gateway into Themyscira, because it's Wonder Woman's blood. Wonder Woman's blood that is put on the tree, that drops on the tree, that is imprisoned Ares. It's Wonder Woman's blood that opens up the path to paradise. Just like in Christian doctrine, Roman Catholicism, the blood of Christ will set you free. You'll be forgiven for your sins, and therefore you'll become purified through the blood of Christ, and the gates of heaven will open for you, and you'll be welcomed with open arms. Similarly, it's the blood of Diana dropped on the tree, which could be symbolic of the tree of Eden. One of the first things to grow in the Garden of Eden, the tree of which the apple was upon that Eve ate, and throwing all of mankind into conflict. It's Wonder Woman's blood that sort of opened up the doors to Paradise Island, opened up the doors to heaven. Again, a lot of religious imagery here, and I got to applaud Greg Rucka for really putting all that in there, and doing so in such a way that in this day and age, in this particular time where there's a lot of politics and in comic books out there, this is an easy read, a pleasant read, one with a very simple message that love your enemies as you would love yourself, and the doors to paradise will open up for you, or at the very least, your life will get a little bit better. It's a feel-good story at the end that even a cynical guy like me can't help but put a little bit of a smile on my face. And so I thank Greg Rucka for giving us his particularly optimistic view of Wonder Woman and Diana and all the Amazons and what they stand for in the world of the DC Universe. You know, with the DC Universe now embracing rebirth, there is no character, especially now after issue 23, there is no DC superhero character that embodies the spirit of rebirth more than Wonder Woman. That sense of hope, that sense of love, that sense of overcoming conflict by accepting everyone for who they are and loving them anyway. That's the embodiment of Wonder Woman, and that's what Greg Rucka's Wonder Woman has shown. So Rebirth Wonder Woman, if you're wondering why it's so popular, a lot of people seem to be enjoying it. That's why. Frankly, I can criticize it. There's some criticisms of it. I think there's some plot holes in the story that aren't quite making sense to me, but there's another 2 issues, so I'm going to hold off some further criticism. I'm going to hold off further commentary because it might change over the next 2 issues. At this point, at the end of issue 23, a lot of it is wrapped up quite nicely by Mr. Rucka, and he's done a good job. Liam Sharp, fantastic job in the art. Another kudos I want to say to Bill Chris Everly for the art leaving up here, along with Nicola Scott. And there was a guest artist as well, whose name I forget, but I'll shout it out next time. This is a good comic book, guys. Issue 23. Check it out. And until then, Comic Boom out. How'd I do?